League of Legends is played in 5 versus 5 team combat. Each player controls an individual champion, using its unique abilities to aid allies and destroy enemies. Each team has a base filled with minions, turrets, and most importantly, the Nexus. The first team to push into the enemy base and destroy their Nexus wins the game. Players kill enemy minions, turrets, and champions to acquire gold and experience, growing stronger over the course of the match. Gold purchases powerful items, while experience allows a champion to level up and improve their special abilities. The scoreboard at the top of the screen shows you how many champion kills and how much gold each team has acquired. While these numbers are good indicators of how each team is performing, the only thing that matters is the destruction of the Nexus. No game is truly over until the final seconds.
Let's go.
Go where? I can't see.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're still awake because we've got one final match. It's going to be the TPA Assassins versus the Saigon Fantastic Five. It's going to be me, Jahudi, and Fish here casting the game, so let's stay awake.
So we have the final match of the night. The previous match was dragged out quite a bit.
It was dragged.
It was dragged.
But it wasn't that long, actually, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was just 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
It's not the longest game that we've seen.
Definitely not the longest game we've seen. So we're going to have the Azubu TPA Assassins go up against the Saigon Fantastic Five. I think this might be the chance for Saigon Fantastic Five to put up a good fight against the Azubu TPA Assassins,
right?
Especially after they have been underperforming quite a bit recently.
Right. I think you know the principle of attacking when the enemy is down. This might be the chance for SF5 to take advantage of that. They've been performing pretty decently. The Azubu TPA Assassins, on the other hand, haven't really been up to their usual state. And I feel like, you know, this could be the best opportunity that comes all season. It's not all the time where you catch people off form. And it does happen to teams where, you know, they're on form at certain times, and at other times they're just really not on form.
So we will be going into picks and bans very shortly. Just waiting for all the players to get ready and for the game to start here. So what do you think Saigon Fantastic Five have to do? What do you think Azubu TPA Assassin have to do to get their form back?
I think it's all down to morale and practice. Like, something told me they just weren't feeling it in the last match against HQ. I felt that their lineup in that game was pretty all right. They had a couple of weird picks here and there. I can't remember exactly, but I had the feeling. I remember that on that Sunday, I didn't feel like they had a really bad lineup, but somehow they just didn't play it to its strengths. For SF5, I think, like for any other team that goes up against one of these bigger, stronger teams, the main aim is consistency, because a lot of the times when you're up against people like TPA, SGS, HQ, they win just by being consistent in their play. You know, they play the entire game to a high standard. And SF5 and the other teams, they can play to a high standard, but they do tend to waver a bit. And when they waver, that's when the big teams swoop down and kill them.
So we are in Champion Select with Azubu TPA Assassin having the first ban and pick of the game. Elise being banned out straight away by the Azubu TPA Assassins. Kha'Zix being banned out as a response by the Saigon Fantastic Five. Two very powerful champions in the game right now.
So we are going to see what we've been seeing most of the night. Jace gets banned out. Other bans that we do expect, Twisted Fate. Thresh gets banned out once more. So that champion there is just one of those champions that nobody wants to let see the light of day.
Yep. So on the side of the Azubu TPA Assassins, Jace being banned out as well. He's a really strong champion. As you said before, he's one of the few mid laners that can be blind picked for mid lane against an opponent. And he can also go to the top lane as well. Kennen being panned out. He's become a really popular champion once again right after the All-Star Finals.
Right, Navy likes to play that Kennen as well once in a while, so that doesn't strike me as too odd of a ban. Twisted Fate there getting banned out. So another ban which I feel is quite necessary in the current meta, especially if your team is not the most coordinated. It can be very difficult to deal with that Twisted Fate. We are going to see Rise get picked up alongside Lee Sin. We've got Jarvan Lockdown as well for the Azubu Taipei Assassins.
So Lee Sin looks like going to be picked up as the jungler for the Saigon Fantastic Five. Rise has been a really, really solid AP mid and also recently been used at the top lane a lot.
Right, I think that Rise, however, always will have that disadvantage when it comes to being dual lane 2v1'd with the AD carry, especially a lane like this. Just look at what we have picked up here on Azubu Taipei Assassin. Think of Varus Sona. If this Varus Sona lane goes up against Rise, he's just going to get destroyed.
He sure will. So this Varus Sona will be able to dish out a lot of damage, even if they go into the conventional 2-on-2 at the bottom lane. The Varus Sona will be able to dish out quite a large amount of damage.
Right, they are a very, very strong combo. I think Varus right now is one of the top tier AD carries in the game.
Sure, so looks like Saigon Fantastic 5 are going to respond with a Graves pickup. I think that Varus does slightly well against Graves, especially due to the fact that he's an entire 50 range on top of Graves. He'll be able to try and get some auto attacks out and back off before Graves can really even respond.
Let's see whether or not they decide to go for that. I wouldn't really think that Graves is the best pick for them right now. But they are still going to lock that in. Zyra has been picked up. So Zyra always, I feel, known for the disengage power, the ability to stop the enemy team from jumping on you. But I don't know if that's going to be so necessary with the team comp that the Taipei Assassins have right now.
So Zac looks like they're going to pick up Zac most likely for Azubu Taipei Assassins. Hovering, no, they're just cycling through champions right now, trolling a little bit here. They have Karthus being picked up for the mid lane of Azubu Taipei Assassins. They do go for the Shen pickup. They will have a really solid team comp for Azubu Taipei Assassins. One of the more conventional team comps and a really solid lineup.
Right, I like this team composition. They've got some nice global ultimates. They've got the Stand United, the Requiem, and of course they've got a really, really solid jungler and bottom lane.
They sure do. So Saigon Fantastic 5 here. Sai looks to pick up the final champion. Seems to either be the support mid or top lane. We do not know where Zyra is going just yet.
Zyra could always go mid, like you said. I mean, that's where she first started out as a champion before people started using her more as a support. But it seems like since they picked up Lux, they are going to send Lux over to the mid while Zyra stays at the bottom lane as the support.
It looks like we will have Rise going up at top lane once again, going up against Shen, which is what we just saw recently between these two champions in the previous game.
And what they did was they went for the lane swap. So do you think we're going to see that again, the lane swap where Rise ends up going against that 2v1 lane?
If we see the lane swap, I don't think that Azubu Taipei Assassins will initiate it. I think that they'll want to keep this AD and support going to the bottom lane, especially because they do have blue side this game. So if we do see the lane swap, I think Saigon Fantastic 5 might try to do so, but they don't have the tower pushing capabilities that Varus and Sona have.
Who do you think is going to be the winner in this 2v1 lane? I mean, in this 2v2 lane, though, between Varus and Sona and Graves Zyra?
I think Varus and Sona do fantastic, do as good as they would in a 2v2 and a 2v1 lane. I feel that their bottom lane synergy is a bit stronger than the Graves Zyra combo here. But once, if Zyra does get down a good snare onto any of the champions at Azubu Taipei Assassin's lineup, whether it be Stanley in a 2-on-1 or even Toys in a 2-on-1 or BB in the 2v2 lane, Graves will be able to get that distance that he needs to negate the range advantage that Varus has. has and deal good burst damage in a short period of time.
Right. So on the other hand, we're going to see if there is a 2v1, do you think Shen or Rise will do better in lane?
I think they'll both do quite even because Shen has the tankiness and a small sustain to help him out, and the Vorpal Blades will also help him with last hitting a bit easier as well. Rise, on the other hand, will be able to last hit minions. He's not very good when being pushed to tower, but if he does spam out his spells, he'll be able to clear out and get those last hits a bit easier, get back to base, grab his tier, and have a bit more mana to sustain. But I think Shen, in the long run, will do better in the 2-on-2 lane.
Right, so
two-on-1 lane.
It's going to be more a matter of who can take down the turret faster than if they go for that lane swap. And in that case, I'm going to have to say it's Varus and Sona who will be able to take down the turrets just that little bit faster, I feel. I might be wrong, though, because Graves can clear waves really fast with Buckshot.
He sure can, but Varus has that range and Sona has the pushing capability, but with the extra damage and the power chords using the Hymn of Valor, able to deal great amount of damage to the tower as a support.
How about in the mid lane? This is a Lux versus Karthus matchup. What are your thoughts on that?
Karthus will be a farming beast coming into this mid lane. He would just try to do what we saw last game coming in from the Bangkok Titans. He would just want to try and sit there and farm out as much as he can. But if Violet gets a good snare onto him and unleashes his full combo onto Super Type Assassin here, I think that Karthus will go down fairly easily.
Right, so Karthus here, if he does his job and just stays farming, I don't think it's very easy for Violet to pick him up, to be honest. And we've seen Toys being able to just constantly farm as that champion. This is not going to be the first time that he has played Karthus, so there's a lot of experience that he has on this champion and that he's going to bring to the field today. I think that Azubu Type A Assassins has the stronger lineup.
I think so too coming into this game. And once again, there's a bit of mix and match coming from Saigon Fantastic 5. Their only really tanky champion is Egg coming into this game. And Egg, he will pack a punch, but he's not as tanky as a Shen or a Jarvan. And coming into late game, he will fall off quite a bit.
Right, this is something that I feel a lot of the lesser teams have a problem with when they're going for these team compositions. They pick all right champions, but their team compositions are quite hollow. Like, you have a poke from Lux. How does Rise fit into that? Like, how is he supplementing that poke? Is he helping you get away? Is he helping by giving more poke? I don't feel like Rise is a great fit in this team.
I mean, if you look at Saigon Fantastic 5's team composition, a bit mixed up, and they have a bit of everything here, but Azubu Type A Assassin team comp just looks really solid in this game, and so I do get what you mean by the weaker teams in the growing Premier League haven't really adjusted to that just yet, and we can see Azubu Type A Assassin's team comp is just fantastic going into this game. They have really good synergy coming in.
Right, so let's have a look whether the Saigon Fantastic 5 here can prove us wrong and, show us just what genius they have behind their team composition, because right now I can't see it, but, maybe it's hidden in there, maybe it's like some unpolished gem just waiting to be discovered. Who knows? Or maybe it's just Sai.
We're going to have Zombie Rise and Grim Reaper Karthus in two different teams here. Zombie Rise, that skin is interesting, you could say.
Is it me or does Sandy never ever use skins?
He doesn't even use his own skin. He's using Shen. They have the Type A Assassin skin. Shen skin. Scan Shen. They have the Scan Shen for Azubu Type A Assassins. But, notice you, man. It looks like Azubu Type A Assassins are not using little balls in the jungle. I just realized they're using Sarsky.
Yeah, Sarsky is the new jungler for the Azubu Type A Assassins. Yeah, good thing you brought that up. Yeah, he was recently added, and we haven't seen how he performs. So this is going to be quite an interesting one.
There we go. Last member for Saigon Fantastic 5 finally joining the game. We will be loading into Champion Select as soon as possible.
So having a look at the lineup that we have here, I'm predicting there could be a swap in lanes, because whenever I see Rise, it's just like a call to swap lanes.
I honestly don't think I don't think that Azubu's Taipei Assassins will try out the swap, because really I think that the Rise coming into this game is more of a pick to go up against the Shen and go to the top lane to use his range and damage to his advantage. Poke, there we go. Paul's coming out straight away into this game.
Right, I think that might have been for Sai then. But hopefully they've sorted that out. So, coming into the late game, who do you think is going to be pulling ahead here?
Easily Azubu Taipei Assassins, just because of how much egg will fall off coming into this late game.
That's really true.
And everybody on Azubu Taipei Assassins does well in the late game. Jarvan will be able to initiate strong. Stanley will become a late game monster. Only person that really falls off would be BB. Varus will fall off slightly, but then again, Graves doesn't get any better in the late game compared to Varus, so it'll be quite even, but I think Egg will fall off a bit too hard for the Saigon Fantastic 5.
Right, I don't think that, but they do have Rise there, and I think he might be able to get very strong. But his short range is going to put him in a lot of dangerous situations there, especially since they've got Karthus. Like Karthus, I feel he does really well against those short range champions. Those that have to get within range of his Defile to deal some damage.
I do agree with that though. So we are into level 1 here. We have Rise picking up the Mana Crystal here with a few pots, and he does have his Biscuit as well. We have double Rejuvenation Bead being picked up by Shen, most likely going to the top lane. Azubu Taipei Assassins very, very aggressive in this level 1 phase. They are going to actually run into this Tri-Brush here at the top lane. What looks like they're going to run into the Tri-Brush at the top lane, see what they can do.
Right, let's have a look at what sneakiness they have planned here. SF5 is doing something equally sneaky here as they move to the bottom Tri-Brush. It seems like both teams are mirroring themselves.
So both teams are mirroring themselves right now, both heading into the red bush area of each other's jungle. And looks like they got a little bit lost there in each other's jungle.
3 wards down, that is no joke. Azubu Taipei Assassins just lighting up the jungle there.
So a lot of, actually not even 3, 4 wards being put down there. Azubu Taipei Assassins, they want to see everything in this red jungle. They don't want to drag anything out at all today.
Oh, they're going to run into Toys here, who is going to try to land some layaway damage. Manages to chip away at TQ.
So looks like after all that invade that went out from both teams, it just looks like they're going to settle for Azubu Taipei Assassins. Going to take out these double golems here, leash a bit of the EXP for the AD carry and support. All members of Saigon Fantastic 5 are around this blue wall, so we will see the traditional one-on-one, top one-on-one, mid and 2-on-2 at the bottom lane. Sarsky getting a really nice leash coming out from Dinter and BB here to be able to progress to his jungle much faster that way.
Right, so they're just going to give him the smiteless leash. Toys here taking a little bit of poke from Violet, but it's still very early on, so he's going to be probably just heal that up, no issue at all. Over the bottom lane, BB and Dinter do start with what should be a slight experience advantage. Sai taking a bit of damage, misses the grasping binds, the ignite goes down, and they burn the flash on him almost immediately coming into this game. Brilliant play.
Zyra is just like Sona coming into the early levels. She is so squishy in this game. We just see BB and Dinter being so aggressive. The Crescendo into, not Crescendo, sorry, the Hammer Valor into Power Chord there, chunking yet another bit of health there. And this just shows the experience of the Azubu Taipei Assassins, how they control the bottom lane extremely well. They're standing behind their creeps right now. Stanley even playing really well at the top lane, pushing Navy straight into the tower at this low level in the game.
Right, just amazing how he's managed to get 2 levels above Navy here. I'm a little bit surprised and wondering how he did that. The Azubu Taipei Assassins here really benefiting from the wards that they have all over the red buff area of the Saigon Fantastic 5. Because of that, they're able to put so much pressure on the lane and not worry about the ganks.
BB and Dinter are doing a great job of denying this bottom lane as much as possible, using their positioning as well to try and stop Graves and Zyra from coming from last. They just finally hit level 2 here, but BB and Dinter still look to put on as much pressure as possible. We have Egg going up to the top lane to try and get a gank off onto Stanley here. I think he went a little bit too early. There's no way Navy could come anywhere close to help out with that one. Stanley, however, gets a bit of help from Sarsky here. He's going to come in and scare away the scary Lee Sin.
Right, looking at the CS here in the bottom lane, it seems to be a big advantage. Toys takes a lot of poke from Violet here. So Violet playing that lane quite nicely. Lots of poke, lots of advantage here for Varus. BB's 24 to 11.
Oh,
TQ
goodness.
gets so low, it's ridiculous. He escapes with barely any health. Are we going to see a charged up arrow for him? No.
Both summoners were used by TQ. Their exhaust was used by Sai as well. First blood goes to Sarsky at top lane with a dive coming in from Stanley as well. He must have run out of mana there. We already saw him quite low on mana to start off with. So good pick up by Sarsky there, doing well for one of his first runs with the Azubu Taipei Assassins.
Right, Azubu Taipei Assassins here really dominating in the laning phase. Something which they haven't been doing all too well in the last couple of games. So this is a good turnaround for them.
Was Sarsky playing for Azubu Taipei Assassins last weekend? I don't remember correctly.
No, I don't think he was.
So this would be his debut in the Greener Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's making a fantastic start for his debut coming into this one. TQ has come back to lane. Although he has item advantage right now, he has that long sword and some pots compared to BB here. He's still 2 levels behind. Egg here tries to go into Dinter, but no cigar. And now TQ's in a bad position, especially with Jarvan coming behind. There is no flash here. Flash comes up for Egg to try and slow them down. But now here comes the knockout straight onto Egg. I don't think that's the person he should have gone for there, though. He should have tried to go for it. But Dinter gets a kill. Double kill for Dinter. Playing the carry support that he should be.
Oh, and BB does get tagged by that final hit from Zyra. Doesn't deal enough here to push him out of lane though, and the heals from Dinter are gonna put TQ in a very tight position.
I think Sarsky there could have played that out a little bit better as well. They had the superior positioning going into that fight there. They knew that all of the champions had no flash. He could have easily gone into the back line right there, straight onto TQ, who was already extremely low, taking him down, and then followed up with taking down Sai or even Egg there. But they will get 2 kills for nothing going to Sona there, and they will put a dragon on top of that.
Right, Stanley here starting to take some damage as Navy picks up that tier. It allows him to spam a lot more easily. And you can see here, he's slowly chipping away at Stanley's health bar. And despite the fact that Stanley has the double rejuvenation bead, he is slowly but surely getting torn apart.
Navy has the tier and an extra sapphire crystal here. So he's only going to get the mana regeneration that the tier offers, not too much else to help him out. We're going to see TQ head back to base once again. If he does go back to base this time, he's going to be put so far behind because Azubu Taipei Assassin's BB has not gone back to at all in the 7th mark. And he's already pushed TQ out once and is still ahead of him, even though TQ has a superior item advantage.
Over in the mid lane, Toys is really farming like a beast. Managed to just pull very, very far ahead of... oh, nice laser! Doesn't pick up the blue buff though, and it still goes to Toys.
I thought you might have seen the smite come out from Sarsky there once the laser was popped to secure the blue buff, but Toys does still pick that one up, so great invade coming out from the Azubu Taipei Assassins.
Right, he's 20 CS ahead right now. Looking very comfortable here for the Azubu Taipei Assassins. I mean, this is just barely 8 minutes into the game, and we already see such a large lead for them.
You know, it's quite bad when Lee Sin doesn't want to fight a Karthus 8 minutes into the game.
Right, I mean, typically he should just be bullying him. And Violet should have been able to just get in there to help out as well, but somehow Toys has managed to hold them off.
Ward being placed down here right at the back of Toys lane, just to spot out if he does leave his lane at all through wards. any parts of his jungle there. Toys is now level 8, so his Rec Room has been available for some time for any sort of engages that Azubu Type A Assassins tried to play on any other areas in the map. Getting some good layways down onto Violet, but Violet smartly using the shield there to take away a lot of the damage coming out from those layways.
Right, some pinks coming down here. I think they realized that there was a pink ward put down recently. Navy still doing pretty well in that lane, saving up towards the Rod of the Ages against Stanley here.
So even though Navy has been pushing Stanley straight back to his tower and getting lots of damage down onto him, Stanley is still out CSing Navy at the top lane. He's doing a great job on right now, not dying to the harass Navy's putting out, not getting sent back too often, but also out CSing him. We have Sky waiting at the top, getting ready as soon as Ice gets out of position.
Right, but we have a very, very cautious Navy here. Not giving in. We're going to see a fight here in the bottom lane as Dinter and BB decide to engage. Dinter there, I think he has not hit yet level 6 yet, so he didn't have his crescendo up yet.
Rec Room does come out though. It looks like it's going for the top lane where Rise is being engaged on. Azubu, the Type as a Sarsky will pick that one out. Now it looks like they might go for egg here, but they decide to smartly back away from that one. And another good thing about the bottom lane engage coming out from Azubu Type Assassins there was they blew the summoners coming in at the bottom lane. They took down Exhaust, Barrier, and Flash on the AD carry there. Azubu Type Assassins still have all their summoners out, Ignite, Flash, and Barrier on both of their champions at the bottom lane, so they will be able to play out this next engage much better, especially
right, and in the meantime, Sarsky there, going to go for some counter jungling, does manage to succeed with it, and he is quite far ahead. Oh my goodness, at the bottom lane, major kills there for Dinter as I think he flashed in and used the crescendo, didn't quite catch that. BB and Dinter going to pick up this bottom lane turret.
Looks like they want to pick up this bottom lane turret fairly early here. They might be trying to deny this one last creep wave to put Saigon Fantastic 5 even further behind. They're actually going to let the creeps do as much damage to the tower as they possibly can. Navy here still trying to go toe to Stanley at the top lane. Tower is taken down at the bottom lane by the creeps here. Stanley taking pretty much no damage right now from the auto attack and spell damage that is coming out from B.
Right, he's been maxing that, he's been adding a lot of points into that shield. And you can see here it is helping out a ton. Maybe he's just burning up mana without dealing any kind of damage that is lasting on Stanley.
Maybe now it's transition to the nothing much to do at the bottom, especially if TQ and Sai try to freeze out the lane to get back some of the gold gap that Azubu Type Assassins have created at the bottom lane. Dinter doing a good job warning out the jungle of the Saigon Fantastic. Taunt goes straight down to Navy at this top lane as Stanley tries to go toe-to-toe. Navy has popped his ultimate here. Sky gonna try and come in. Will the Cataclysm go? Yes, it does. He is trapped in. No flash for him to get away from this one. Taunt should be up very soon. Misses his lance there though, but that won't matter because Stanley will pick up the kill.
There's a nice pickup there by both Stanley and Sarsky. Over the mid lane, Violet could be in trouble next as Dinter is trying to push up while Toys just keeps farming and farming. He's at 120 CS, really good farm there.
Crescendo is down, so not much that Dinter could do to help out besides that poke damage. On to Lux to the mid lane there with the help of Toys coming in. Now the bottom lane, BB going 2-on-1 against his lane. TQ getting taken. He misses his ultimate there. Not too much he can do about that. Collateral damage does go down. Sai gonna take some tower damage here. And here comes Dinter, the carry support. Crescendo with the Ignite. Record to go down, but Dinter says no. Actually, BB says no. He's gonna flash over and try and take down Sai here. There he goes, double kill. Will the true damage take him down? Barrier is used, but it all together, and BB is on a rampage.
Wow, it's 9-0 right now. I think things could not be going better for the Type A Assassins. The dragon is up again. They're going to straight away hop onto it. Toys managed to pick up the blue buff. So the DPS that he's going to be putting out here on the dragon is insane. And this is definitely not going to get dragged out.
I think what they really need to do right now is drag this one out. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but that's what the Saigon Fantastic 5 really need to do in this game.
They're almost 10,000 gold in deficit here, right? It's about 8,000 in fact. And I think that at this point, with such a big goal gap, I don't think there's anything that TPA can really do wrong.
Stanley here still moving up to the top lane. Even though he's going up against a Rise here, he still opted to go for that Sunfire Cape first. That's going to help him out with the split push and any auto attack damage that will come out from these creeps. Or Rise himself. Taunt goes out, barely misses damage down onto him. They're not able to do so.
Right, so this Sunfire Cape just a very, very popular pickup. I think you're right that the pushing ability there is one of the main attractors there. Egg getting chunked by BB. BB already has that infinity edge, and he's able to just deal with this 3 versus 1 lane. Imagine that. He's so fat that he's fighting 3-on-1.
BB here opting to max the hail of arrows there first, but meanwhile on top lane, Navy's going to get taken out once again. Sarsky has set up his tent at this top lane to camp him out. That's what he's been doing all game. 4 kills at the top lane so far, 2 for 2. 2 to Stanley, 2 to Sarsky so far. As I was saying before, looked like, oh, no more actually going to go down here as Dinter comes around. BB going to take him down. Halo Arrows goes out. Dinter will get the final few auto attacks. No! There goes the charge Q from BB. He's going to try and take out his tower. Tower might actually take him down if he's not too careful. There we go. Collateral damage will shut him down. TQ has to flash down. Here comes Jarvan. No, TQ might pay for this with his life. The Buckshot goes out, but will not be able to do too much there. Here comes Stanley. Non-stop action in this game. So he's going to try and solo the Zyra here. Layways also going down, doing a lot of damage. And that is a 2-for-1 exchange. Actually, no, 3-for-1 exchange. 4-for-1 if you count Navy dying at top lane and a tower going on top of that.
Right, this is just non-stop action here as Toys goes in, Egg gets caught out, and another kill gets picked up here for the TPA Assassins. I'd say this is brutal.
This is a brutal game, and it's not one that I think the Saigon Fantastic 5 can drag out.
Not at all. I mean, they did not expect this. I don't think anyone would have expected them to lose this badly. 14-1 right now, and the goal gap has gone beyond the 10K point.
There's been a lot of debate between a lot of AD carry players on what to first on Varus. Most of them agree that you should take W as the second skill that you should be maxing after either Q or E. But there's a lot of debate between taking Q or E, maxing Q or E first. So in this game, it looks like we're going to see BB maxing his E first. But here we go. Cataclysm, Shen of Violet. Shenol does come down with the exhaust straight onto Sarsky. Taunt onto both champions there. Toy's going to flash in. Lisa going to come into the action as well as Sai gets taken out solo. TQ is going to try and come in on this one as well. Taunt should be coming up very soon. Dinter though going around, and now it looks like Egg and Navy here going to be a bad position. Record's going to come out. Egg, Navy actually going to flash away from this one. Stanley goes in, takes down Navy. He's going to be unstoppable. Now Dinter getting the Ignite down. Double kill for Stanley. And that's going to be a 4-for-0 trade in favor of the Azubu TPA Assassins.
My, that was a brutal fight once again. Was it 4-for-0 in that one?
4-for-0 trade. Only TQ lived in that trade. Not even a trade, in that fight.
And that definitely wasn't a trade, because when you trade for something, you
gotta get something back
in return, and that was absolutely nothing.
All they got was their
that.
coffins. That's all they were stuck with.
So the Saigon Fantastic 5 here are just being pushed further and further behind. In fact, they're so far behind that after those 4 kills, we didn't see the TPA Assassins get that much of a goal advantage.
And keep in mind, the only kill that the Saigon Fantastic 5 have right now is that BB decided to tank the tower for a little bit extra instead of backing away, and an unexpected flash into collateral damage from TQ was able to snipe him off. Baron going to be taken down by Azubu TPA Assassin 17 minutes into the game. This is going to stop the Saigon Fantastic 5 from dragging it out any longer.
And just look at the items that they have over here. Shen's already got his Bulwark picked up. You're going to see a tower picked up by the Saigon Fantastic 5 at the bottom lane, but that really isn't going to help them very much.
Infinity Edge being picked up by Varus here. He has the Home Guard Berserker Greaves, a Doran's Blade, and the components for Ezreal, so he's going to get really strong. Here we go. Ultimate does go down onto Toys here. Egg missing a really easy Q to hit, though. forward dashes straight over the wall though to get out of danger there. And Azubu Taipei has just looked to try and take this blue buff away from the Saigon Fantastic 5. Stanley, they're getting a good taunt off onto Navy, taking a bit of tower damage, but the shield will be enough to negate each and every point of damage coming out from both Navy and the tower there.
So I think that with this Baron buff and the blue buff on toys, you know, the Azubu Taipei assassins are just poised to take down an inhibitor turret. They could, of course, just play it slowly, head over to the top, where Stanley is already putting pressure on the lane. Meanwhile, BB is still yet to go back to base, so he's sitting on quite a fair bit of gold, 1,200.
I just realized with Little Balls not playing jungle for the Azubu Taipei assassins anymore, we can't use Little Toys anymore.
No more Little Toys combo.
No more Little Toys combo. So now we're going to have to find something for Saskai to help out here. We've already come up with the BB Dinter. No more BB Mistake as well, which is quite sad as well. There's a fan here today as well with that sign back from the GPL playoffs in the first season but for the BB Mistakes. Now Azubu Taipei Assassin is going to keep pressuring this top lane tower. They have BB split pushing down on the bottom lane, but I do not think they need all 5 members to pressure one tower right now. They're that far ahead.
Right, we see Dinter camping around, looking for that opportunity. He does have the crescendo ready, the flash as well. My goodness, they're jumping onto toys. Egg is in for a surprise. I don't think he expected that at all. What was he thinking? In from behind comes Stanley. This is it. This is going to cut off their escape route. Violet flashes away. In the meantime, the TQ got picked off. Sai gets picked off. BB jumps in on Navy. The crescendo just flows across his face. It just smashed him.
Saskai missed the final flag lance combo there to potentially take down the rest of the team. Toys pops his Seraph's Embrace there just to give a little bit of a light show. That's all that he was doing there. 20-minute mark has come around. Saigon Fantastic 5 look like they want to try and go for one final engage before the Azubu Taipei Assassins do push into the rest of the base.
Right, I don't know if they're going to continue this push. I mean, they're really, really strong right here. They could just keep pushing.
I mean, Stanley just took about 4 tower hits and doesn't reflect on the health damage he took. Once again, 4 tower hits, and now he's finally taking some damage. Another shield goes out, though. Stanley is a beefy monster right now. Azubu Taipei Assassin is going to prolong Saigon Fantastic 5's agony here. Here comes the final smoker going out from Lux straight onto Dinter, taking down some of the health there, but not too much.
Yeah, if you look at it, Dinter actually didn't take all that much damage. And 21 minutes into the game, all that Violet has is just about 147 AP. Definitely could be doing better on that.
So it looks like Azubu Taipei Assassin's Baron buff is still up on them. It's going to be down fairly shortly though, but it looks like they're going to just pick final buffs here. Blue for Cosmos, red for BB, if red is still up even. And they're just going to go for what looks to be their final push.
Right, they could just either do it very slowly and methodically, taking each of the inhibitors down, or they could just rush through the middle. Because right now, with the kind of lead that they're having, 16,000 gold in the lead, there's really not all that much that the Saigon Fantastic 5 are going to be able to do.
BB still farming up in the jungle here. He has picked up that Phantom Dancer and an extra dagger to give him a bit more attack speed as well. They're going to try and siege up this top tower here. I don't see that there's much that the Saigon Fantastic 5 can do.
Right, so BB here working on the turrets, becomes the target for just a moment. On the other side, Toys is already in there. Dealing quite a fair bit of damage, taking some as well. He's going to try to flash in there. Nice Varus all that chases everyone away. And Toys is still alive here as Sarsky pops the Cataclysm, jumps right in. We're going to see the Requiem as well deal a little bit more damage. TQ tries to get out of there with Dragon's Rage, almost kicks Stanley into the base. But BB is going to pick up the double kill, gets picked up by the turret there. And the Azubu Taipei Assassins are forced to go on the retreat. Crescendo picks up Sai. DQ goes down. And this is going to be 4 members of the Saigon Fantastic 5 down in exchange for just 1 member of the Taipei Assassins. Things are not looking good for them. 1 Nexus turret goes down. Sai is going to go down. The 2nd Nexus turret now fully exposed. Inhibitor turret at the top goes down as well. This could very well be it for the Saigon Fantastic Five. The Nexus Tower will go down.
Final Spunga might come out and snag someone off here. Here it goes, and it will shut him down, so it won't be Scumbag BB feeding off this game here. But Azubu Taipei has to pull off a little bit of an X-Spec and try and take this one down. Stanley battering down on it here. Violet just chooses to dance next to him and doesn't want to. No war for these teams right now. They just want to dance.
Stanley's taking forever to destroy the Nexus. He's got no damage whatsoever.
It reminds me of when Kailing played against the Combo Hunters and all he did as the Rock was just beat down on towers and inhibitors, and that's about it.
You know, there isn't really all too much to say about this match. I mean, it ended rather quickly. I mean, right